we'd go through, we'd make our own little weapons out of PVC pipe and wood and whatever, and tape it all together, run through the neighborhood, have shootouts and stuff. And then to do that as an actor, as an adult in the actual universe was just, I mean, it was so much fun to play, just playing pretend.
Hey, Star Wars fans.
Hello there.
Just wanted to come to you guys. I am super stoked about episode 3 for this Star Wars Jedi podcast. We have Chris Bartlett. A couple things before we get started. It was a long interview, so we're going to divide it up into a couple different sessions. So we'll have one this week, and we'll have one the following episode. So I'm super psyched about that. A couple things before we get started. Chris is going to be at these few places that I'm going to read off right now. On October 13th through the 15th, Chris is going to be at Bangor, Maine at the Bangor Comic and Toy Con. And then October 27th to 29th, he'll be right down the street here in Nashville, in Lebanon, Tennessee, at the Music City Multicon. It's October 27th, 29th. And then on November 3rd through the 5th, he will be at Rhode Island Comic Con. I'll have all those in the comments. I think everybody's excited about seeing him in those places, along with... Yes, I know he's a new friend of yours, R2. And we're going to get to that interview right now. What's going on, Star Wars fans? We have the one and only Chris Bartlett here with us.
Hey, Ron, how's it going?
Good. How are you? You too.
I'm great.
You too.
Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, thanks for taking the time to come on here and tell us all about your Star Wars experience and universe.
Oh, thanks. No, I'm excited. I can't believe how many. Now, did you just put all the droid stuff up just for today, or is that up there all the time?
No, I did. I put it up there for today. I do a little bit. I had
that's great.
I had some of Amy's stuff up when I interviewed her. So
nice.
yeah, I have a pretty big collection here. So
awesome. Well, it's good to talk to you.
You too. So if some people don't know who you are, you might not recognize his face. You might recognize his voice for one of his characters, and the other characters you will definitely recognize, but he's done a lot of character acting, huh?
Yeah, this is my 18th year as a professional actor. And, with the strike, there are some things we talk about, some things we talk around. So all the shows in a galaxy far away that I've been on, just about every one of the ones on television. I don't know the number of characters that I play, but I typically play always featured or main characters on these shows, and they are usually robots. I love droids. I got into acting because I was building costumes and started 20 years ago, but now there's I play bounty hunters and mercenaries, teacher droids and helper droids and protocol droids, bartenders, a lot of them, and all of them have special little moments in these shows that are either for dramatic impact, or maybe Star Wars comedic impact, or driving the story. And so it's really fun to play a variety of them because I can put personalities into each one of them, and we could talk more about that.
Yeah, and that's pretty neat. And that's one of the things when I was checking out all your stuff, is just the different variety that you have, for each one of these droids, or the ferryman, and Mandalorian and stuff, which I think is really cool. And but again, it's just so many, like you said, a teacher or protocol or bounty hunter, which I thought was really neat. And I know some of the things that you're doing are like you said, it's just their main characters, which point the direction of this story that you're doing.
Yeah, they might, like I said, they might be pushing the story, or they might be a moment that makes it feel familiar to this galaxy. Like I said, whether if it's a little comedic moment, like there was a droid in an episode of um, this guy's show, and that was when there's like a speeder chase, and the moment was this little feel for he's almost going to get run over. He's in danger of getting run over by these speeders, and it's supposed to be a little funny moment.
Yep.
But then there's moments where I'm hunting well-known Jedi and a well-known princess, and we're having a shootout in the streets of some faraway planet, and that's so much fun because as a kid, as a 7-year-old, was how old I was when I saw first A New Hope in the theater, or as it was called then. And we'd go through, we'd make our own little weapons out of PVC pipe and wood and whatever, and tape it all together and run through the neighborhood, have shootouts and stuff. And then to do that as an actor, as an adult in the actual universe was just, I mean, it was so much fun to play, just playing pretend or flying a ship, like I flew the main character's ship in the most popular show on that network, and that was a dream because everything worked in the cockpit, all the lights turned on and off, and
That's awesome.
It was just, you didn't even have to pretend. It was all felt very real.
That's cool. Well, and that's one of the things I really think is neat about you, because again, you've sort of all of us fans that aren't doing that, we're living vicariously through you, because we all want to do that. We want to be that one character, or this other character in here in that Star Wars universe, which is really neat.
Well, I really hope that comes through in doing interviews like this, and also going to conventions and meeting fans to talk about these fun stories. I really want people to know we are having so much fun making these. We'll figure out the stuff with the studios. As actors, we'll figure that stuff out. But as fans, we I really hope that it comes across that we're having so much fun, and also making something that's really special to us. It was special to our childhood, and we hope that the stories we're telling and the creatures and characters that we're either writing for or creating are really come through as make you feel something, and because we're feeling it every day. It's just,
yeah. Well, and again, like I said, it does. For sure. I think just some of the things that I've seen you on, I can tell that you're a big fan. And tell me a little bit about getting into that and that cosplay. You were really a big fan before you even started this, right?
Yeah, like I said, I grew up as a fan, and then then as life goes on, you grow up and you're not playing with action figures anymore, and now you're driving cars and dating girls, and then you get married and have kids and start having a family, and then life goes on, and I found out about the 501st, which is the fan group, the costuming group, bad guys doing good things, and all the sort of Imperial and other bad guys in this galaxy costume building. And so I built a stormtrooper. I still have my helmet up there.
Oh, nice.
And I'm TK 409, which was, I got my number in 2001. So you get a real, I didn't know it at the time, but that's a low number apparently. And so anyway, so then I learned, I was just rekindled that creativity that these stories gave me as a kid. And so I was building, I built this guy, I built that guy, sand people and Jawas for my kids and gonk droids for my daughter. And
That's awesome.
And then I built my first droid costume, and that was really pretty life-changing, because I received an email from creator, I guess the maker, you could say,
Right.
and came in for an audition, and that is but before that, because you're talking about as a fan, before that I would go to conventions, I would suit up, I'd go with my other buddies, and we would go around and we'd do the voices and everything, all right, we'll check it out, that kind of thing, and just have fun with other fans. But I really had such a desire and a passion to make my characters feel, or costumes feel, like characters, and that was something I just really worked on. I didn't have any classic training or anything in acting, but I it, I just really wanted to mimic what I was seeing on screen, and play that for fans at conventions. They're waiting in long lines or something, so I would go up and down the line with in my outfit, talk to them as the character, things like that, just
Yeah.
because I was like, I wanted to entertain people. I wanted to make them feel like this is a real character, not just a guy in a costume. And anyway, I was just nerd, just like all of us.
That's awesome.
And then that's what turned into getting an audition.
That's really cool. So when was your first actual, being in this universe? When was your first actual acting part in this universe?
The first professionally was in 2006. There was a call for a certain shiny droid,
Right.
who
The one that
who
might be over my shoulder
maybe
on
that you're surrounded by.
both sides.
Yeah, to give a presentation in Australia for Star Wars Galaxies, which was a game that came out a long time ago. And they had a voice track that was already recorded, and my job was to, mime this character and to the voice track. And so what it looked like to the audience, or the media that was assembled there, was it looked like they were seeing the real thing, because they could hear his voice,
Right.
they could see him right in front of them. And the comments that the studio got after that was, how are you doing this? What is this technology that we can see this robot and he's talking to us? And it was fun that it was so simple, but that the magic of it and the magic of that universe made it feel like it was really something out of this world.
Yeah.
So
Literally.
that was the first thing. Then there was, so then there was and that was in 2006. So then there were TV commercials for this, that this character was featured in, like McDonald's and
Okay.
other things like that. And then there were awards shows. So like Samuel L. Jackson received an American Cinematheque Award on AMC, and then there was later there was the Oscars, but then there was bigger, and the commercials and the shows and the television appearances became much bigger. I mean, I was on Good Morning America, or this character was on Good Morning America talking to George Stephanopoulos and stuff. I mean, anyway, it was really fun. And then even meeting the president of the United States, being invited to the White House. These two characters, tall and short, were invited to the White House to meet the president and to entertain the White House staff, and also all the military families that were coming through for Halloween and trick or treating. So every time they would call, it felt like this is the peak. This is the pinnacle of my life of fandom, and then another call will come and I'm like, I can't, imagine that this is another, I feel like I'm going up a mountain that I thought the mountain stopped down here, and it just kept going. But really, I think, definitely when they called me to come in and do a screen test for where is he? Hang on. For a certain bounty hunter that is not liked by a certain other character.
Yes.
So when I came in for a screen test for that, and then my first day of filming was, you mentioned a character earlier, the Ferryman.
Yeah.
That was my first day of filming in a Star Wars narrative.
Okay.
And so that was a very special day. Uh, and then as you go on, you just try to be easy to work with. You try to be trustworthy. I mean, you just are trustworthy.
Right.
And you try to be professional and be prepared and come with ideas and things like that. Um, and then you find that you have a really good working relationship with super creative people that like working. We're just a bunch of nerds
Right.
who like talking about this stuff and making this stuff. So it's really very special. And then when you have uh, being in this universe is the dream,
Right.
right?
Absolutely.
When I was building these costumes, I always dreamed of being in one of these stories,
Right.
whether it was in film or on television. But I never imagined it would actually happen. Your dreaming and imagination, I feel like are two different things. Dreaming feels like a goal imagination, and imagination just feels like, oh, just, what's a possibility. So I never imagined it would actually happen because I was just building stuff in my garage for myself and my
Right.
kids. So when it really did happen, that was just a dream. But then when they make an action figure of your character, that is like icing on top of icing on top of icing on a cake that you never imagined you'd actually get. But then when they make a second one, and I can't tell you, Ron, um, how I want to share so much this feeling that I'm feeling with the rest of fans, because I just really feel like anything could happen, because that all I was doing something for fun.
Yeah. Well, and I think it does come through with you, with your enthusiasm about this universe and about this guy behind me.
Mhm.
And I think it's pretty neat. And I don't know if you can do it or not, but you've sort of mastered that voice. You've mastered that, the acting in that. And I think that's really neat because again, there's for the most part, there's no words, there's no really facial expressions on some of these, droids or bounty hunters, robots, whatever you want to call them,
Right.
because again, we don't see your
What,
face.
you don't see any expression there? Come
Right.
on. No, there's no emotion there. Right. No, yeah, it's a different kind of acting in that it's very physical, but I do all my rehearsing with my scene partners with the head off. So
Okay.
we're connecting emotionally, like we're in a scene. I'm hunting you,
Right.
you believe that I've got you now. I'm gonna disintegrate you, but then I get taken out from behind by somebody else,
Right.
those kind of, or maybe I'm just your assistant and we're out on a balcony and we're looking up at this ship that's passing over and you're explaining to me what this is. And I don't understand because the markings don't match. And those kind of scenes are always, I do them without the helmet when rehearsing so that we have this connection as human beings. And so then when I put on the helmet, it just makes it, you still feel Chris, the actor inside,
Sure.
but all of my motion and everything is appropriate to that character. Yeah, it's just a different way of acting, but I really try to bring the human part of that experience to my scene partners.
That's awesome. So that's going to wrap it up for this week's episode. Yes, I know it wasn't finished, Chewy, but we're wrapping up this week, and we will have the rest of Chris's interview next time on Star Wars Jedi Chat.